freshness.
Black Hot Fire Radio, and you're listening to the Pan-African Mix Show.
1 hour of the hottest tracks and the coolest and best music.
Whatever do you do, don't take man fi fool you. Niko party na magoons, but you lali to snooze. If you snooze, you lose. This is played by the rules. I'm carrying from afar, ati nilikina so lonely. The Lord knows bila siya kuzi no misi fala wa kukam. Niko yard fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, land that goes in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
Flonny bad and I came mad and nilikuja juzi and niggas already mad. Why you tripping on my face? Keep up the pace. My paper clean and that's what I'm finna chase. Zimeshika fully bad, milibili ndio naona. Mamangu bado nitamkora. Mashughuli usiku kwa kona. Cheza upigwa bakora. Shorty bad, my nigga bad. They pull up with the bag. This bitch is mad. Finna pull up on the track. Fully bad.
Girl, more from afar, ati nilikina so lonely. The Lord knows bila siya kuzi no misi fala wa kukam. Niko yard fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, land that goes in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
Me na run things, wanalia bad man, na magika madman. It's only to niliweka 5 men down. LB, TKB, never fear, we upload them. Of course, iko chuo, so sina gikos. Ukini cross, itabaki tu ni checkmate. One day, superstars, our slogan. Our slogan till we die. Lesson 1, are you ready for the school class? Me a make a nigga beg, fuck me a help us. Me na run dead boys, me a wanna be a cash lad. Me a wanna be a cash lad.
From far, ati nilikina so lonely. The Lord knows bila siya kuzi no misi fala wa kukam. Niko yard fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, land that goes in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad,
fully bad. Happy July, family. It's that month of being fully bad with the one and only Shumani being featured in this song, The Kind Bandits, Fully Bad, featuring Palmer and Shumani 254. As you listen and follow their page for more updates, more music. Welcome to another conversation here with me on Let's Pop with Iraton. My name is Iraton Longoria, for those who do not know me. Welcome to Let's Pop with Iraton on the Black Hot Fire Radio Network, media of the 21st century. Always talking about redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves, because we are the change we need to see in the world. It's July 9th. How's the month taking you here in Nairobi, Kenya? It's literally freezing. So it's freezing like hella freezing, but we have to survive. We've been surviving the protests and the government. So this is just like, it's not that big. But welcome to another conversation about the power of self. This is basically going more deeper into how Africa is recycling thieves and educating illiterates. And also, Africa is not broke, but Africa is broken. And also, another conversation about Africa's bold plan to conquer the world. And lastly, we'll finish with the one and only Joshua Maponga, who will be giving us a niche about Africa has been robbed of her soul. But we'll start with a conversation about Africa is recycling thieves and educating illiterate. As you download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel, clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. Thank you for the ones for joining me live on TikTok. Remember, you can like the screen button and invite more people to listen into amazing conversation as you please follow the live creator for more Pan-Africanist conversation, real conversation about what's really happening in the world here in Africa, as we actually call out and basically speak truth about what's really happening. Again, the ones who are joining me right now, my name is Iraton Longoria.
Feel the freshness. The best music.
Get ready.
1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
Fully bad, TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, and that boys in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
Flonny bad and came mad and nilikuja juzi and niggas already mad. Why you tripping on my face? Keep up the pace. My paper clean and that's what I'm finna chase. Zimeshika fully bad, mili ndio naona. Mamangu bado nitamkora. Mashughuli usiku kwa kona. Cheza upigwa bakora. Shorty bad, my nigga bad. You pull up to the bag. This bitch is mad. Finna pull up on the track. Fully bad.
Yeah, more from afar, atingili kina sololi. The Lord knows me, I see I'm losing no. Missy fella waku come, niko yard. Fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, and that boys in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
Me na run things, wanalia bad man na mageuka madman. Hizo ni juu niliweka 5 men down. LB, TKB, never fear, we upload them. Of course, siko chuo, so sina gikos. Ukinekea kitabaki kunichoko. Why superstars are Lesson 1, are you ready for this good class? Me a make a nigga beg, fuck me a help us. Me na run them boys, me a wanna be a cash lad. Me a wanna be a cash lad.
From afar, atingili kina sololi. The Lord knows me, I see I'm losing no. Missy fella waku come, niko yard. Fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, and that boys in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
That time nilibakalia nil. This time check the face, Buddha Joe, mina bring. Hakuna vile utabu, Joe, it's too late. Mina wakajama hits kama Miss Jonah Chin. Niko na gun, ati uko musculous. Easy to dress, Mr. Loneliness. Unanicheki wezidi nite Dracula. Asishiki kitu kawezi familia. Na feel fine lakini sijui why. Mina amini na wife na mkindi kupadai. Najita gangster no joke roll boy. Fully bad tuko outside speed like easy sign.
More from afar, atingili kina sololi. The Lord knows me, I see I'm losing no. Missy fella waku come, niko yard. Fully bad, fully bad. TKB in the place to go. Fully bad, and that boys in the place to go. Fully bad, Shumani in the place to go. Fully bad, fully bad.
Have the same mentality in your life, in your career, your goals. I don't know what you're actually trying to manifest or work towards, but remember, you're gonna focus and put your mindset in regards to what you want to manifest. And I'm telling you, you have to literally go in #fully bad 100%. Welcome again, family. Thank you for the ones that are joining me live on YouTube, Bramble and BitChute. Again, it's me, your channel Longoria. Today's conversation is about the power of self. This will actually commemorate in regards to how we can actually learn. I believe we've actually learned a lot because we have a literally woke generation in regards to what's really happening. But first and foremost, in regards to the fact that Africa is recycling thieves and educating illiterate, we've actually seen the same old pattern of the same leaders, the same government, because these individuals are the ones who are running governments, people who actually are not qualified to be leaders. Because first of all, I believe for a better world, a better Africa, we need conscious leaders, which we definitely do not have. We have individuals who are actually in this position for their own gain. And the fact that we also do understand that the system does not work for us. But also, if you're a leader, it's so much possible if you actually step into that position with a different mentality. But most of them actually blend in, fit in. They're so comfortable with what's basically going on because they're receiving money in form of paper and they forget about you and me. That's the kind of government we have, or we've been having for the most time. But as we always say, or as I always say, nature always comes back to its natural cause. And that's what we're seeing right now. The mother earth will always cry out for for her true rights, right? And that's what's really happening. You can see a lot of you actually questioning things, understanding this is not it. They know they has to be better. They know they has to be a better government, a better future for us. It doesn't make sense that we're sitting walking on wealth and it's not actually manifesting in reality. Like, how are we standing, sitting, walking on wealth each and every day, and our life does not really showcase of where we come from? And that's why I believe the Mother Earth is actually crying out for help, and we're answering correctly as we should, because there's better, there's more, and it's just time for change. You cannot help it, whatever you are. It's a subliminal signal in regards to all the Africans, wherever they are. You can actually understand what's really happening, whatever you know. You know there's better. It has been, we've been sitting in pain and suffering and struggle for quite a long time. But change has to happen, right? But before we move forward, let's listen in to the health and benefit of one of my favorite supplements for this month, the beetroot. If you want to naturally lose some weight, kindly order yourself some beetroot on our website. Download our app on the Google Play Store. Stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. 11:11 on the clock right away on my timer. Means new beginnings, new opportunity, and you're being ushered into a new season of your life. Let's listen in to the health and benefits of beetroot.
Beetroot, nature's powerhouse. Packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina, and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried, and finely ground to preserve their rich nutrition content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie, or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Such a affordable price. You'll definitely get that supplement right away. But as we move into the conversation about Africa, recycling thieves and educating illiterates, we understand the fact that we've seen the same cycle over and over, and comfort is not a good place to be. And I believe a lot of people have gone ahead of us, or the generation that has gone ahead of us, they've been super comfortable with what's really happening. They've not been questioning the government, or it can go back in time. And I believe somehow the economy used to be a little bit okay when we were like super young. But right now, no. Still, it doesn't make sense, because it's still sit on the most wealthiest nation of all time. And it comes a time when you're tired of actually being stuck in a rut. And that's what we are as a generation. We are tired of being stuck in a rut. We're tired of the same governance of actually people who created the same system, or basically in regards to the Constitution, and they're actually not following what the Constitution says. The fact that by 65, what are you doing in the government? But we have people who are like 80 and they're still in the government. What's going on? But the fact that we are going to go against, or actually seek for justice and seek for what's really right, we are going to be called names, because we are actually fighting for what's right. Does it make sense? It's actually double standards, because it comes to a point where you're just tired of the same mold. And that's why we see a lot of fearlessness in this generation. There's a lot of fearlessness. People are just tired, and they're like, whatever it takes, we have to actually have a better nation, have better leaders, and conscious leaders, most importantly, because it cannot be like this. This is not it. You're like, I did not come to this world to suffer, literally. But let's listen into this conversation right away in regards to the conversation I'm talking about right now. Thank you, JJ, Mr. Karanja, Chief Kenya, Bund, Paul, Alex, Munga, everybody. JJ, thank you for liking the button, and thank you for joining us right away this beautiful afternoon.
We have equated having things with being. so that those who have things are considered more human beings. They are not arrested, they are not harassed because they have things. They have Lamborghinis, they have Porsche Cayennes, they have big houses. So every single person now wants to have things. And the best way to get things is either you get miracle money in church, you go to the occult, or you steal. Natif. Be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are living the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We've built a culture where we are telling everybody else to comply with governance processes and the instrumental and intrinsic value of governance institutions. And yet those who break the law, either because they are so high up in government, they're untouchable. So high up in the military, they're untouchable. So high up in the police, they're untouchable.
And that's what's really happening right now. That's always been the same thing. But if you have an individual actually posting something on Twitter or writing anything in regards to the bad governance that we do have, rather than an official in the government or a member of parliament doing something tragic, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people, that basically gotten away from actually dire cases, and we still love them and accolade them. Literally, we love them, we hail them whenever they come at a conference and talk about whatever. But in regards to an individual, a young you talking about actually the fact that the economy is getting tougher because we have a lot of people squandering our money in form of our taxes, literally. We have a government that is building a 1.5 billion church next to the State House. That doesn't make sense. Since when that has happened? And I would love to know the strategies in regards to this church. What's really happening? Why are we having a church next to the State House? Has it become our personal land where any president can come and actually build whatever they need to build, actually avoiding the perspective of what people are actually telling you right now, that it's not okay? The health sector, talk about schools, hospitals, nothing is okay. The taxes have gone so high right now, in the fact that there was a distraction from us actually reading and going bits by bits in regards to the finance bill that was passed a few days ago. Really, have we gone deeper into what the finance bill is saying for this year?
They, their children, their cronies, their girlfriends, and their cats seem to live with impunity. And the only people who live subjected to the reformed governance systems and laws are poor people who will never break through the glass ceiling of deified, sanctified, and elevated fiefdom. How do you deal with the fact that in some of our countries, we've governed the people so badly that citizens are by nature bandits and hostile to the state, even the things that the state does that is good for them? We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately, wonderfulness does not cure the underdevelopment challenge or the ability of external forces to hijack our governance. The middle class is the worst enemy of governance reform.
We do have members of parliament who've been accoladed for the fact that they're actually doing amazing in their counties. But also, we do have also the same people. What are they saying? They're also a part of the government. And yes, maybe they have been doing well for their counties. But also, if you follow the track record of some individuals, there's some people who've actually committed a lot of dire tragedies in this government. But as I said earlier, we keep accolading them. We live in a government or in a country where there are two sides, the poor and the rich, right? And the rich continue getting richer and the poor continue getting poorer. So if you do not ask questions, if you don't break out of this status quo where you've been kept in regards to your mindset, trust me, you're always going to be stagnated. Let's talk about the fact that we do have the poor and they getting poorer, and the fact that we do have a lot of individuals in regards to a lot of people who are graduating because we have our educational system that does not really work for us, has not been created to work for us. We're learning everything to do that has nothing to do with us. And that's why we are always working for other people, right? Why not actually teach individuals about entrepreneurship? Because, hey, Africa is the land of wealth, right? But we're actually telling and preaching the fact that we should send our youth to the, you know, which countries, literally, to actually work for other people, being treated like they're not people. Is that the type of government we want? Not really. And the fact that you're asking questions, that's the first step for you to actually have a breakout or a breakthrough in regards to the fact that you're not meant to be poor. You're not meant to struggle. You're not meant to live a hand to mouth kind of life. Not at all. Apana, why are the rich people still getting more richer? Ask yourself that question.
Most instances when our institutions are beginning to fail, the middle class takes an escapist attitude. The middle class, electricity is not being provided. We buy generators and solar power. We don't even hold to account those who collect taxes to make sure we have electricity. When security is not working, we hire private security firms. We are no longer interested in the police. Everything that the middle class does is to delegitimize the state when we are legitimating our comforts. The fact that we have lost faith in the state is what enables the big gulf between the top, the middle, and the bottom. We're recycling thieving elites who are living half the time out in Europe, investing everything they were stealing out in Europe. Now, the problem we had was, we tell these young people, you have to be law-abiding. There will not be peace and security. Based on this lie, that others have a right to eat, and the rest have a right to.
That's literally what has been happening for the longest time. See, Kaka, Isaac, how you doing? You're saying the government agency, for sure.
To silence, right? Silence. Eating is in progress. Or silence. And then you then come to some of the elites. You say, but the things happening in your country. What do you think?
We know individuals who were actually kind of like quotes and quotes Pan-Africanists, right? And they were actually telling us a lot about what's really happening in the government. And actually, sometimes they had a conversation here, I believe last week on TikTok, and there's an individual having a conversation with me or commenting, and he said that we should also be really careful with these activists, right? Because it's actually a pathway for them to pave their way into the government. I'm telling you, ask yourself these questions. And also, we understand that they're being funded in regards to whatever they're doing, whatever conversation will come up in regards to what's happening in their life. Is it a distraction, or maybe are we actually breeding another group of leaders, quote unquote, who are always, or they will be in the government, and they'll just copy and paste what's really happening? We have to be really, really careful in regards to the people we call Pan-Africanists or activists or conscious leaders, because I'm telling you, someone can just fake it to fit in. You know who you can mention in the time people who did the same way or the same thing, and their main agenda was to pave their way into the government.
Think about them, and they say, "Hey, Aki, it's bad manners to talk whilst you are eating." So they are.
Aaron Mosquito, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. You're asking, is that Idris Elba? Do you think that's Idris Elba, General Mosquito?
Silent, observant table manners. We have equated having things with being, so that those who have things are considered more human beings. They are not.
And that's called classism. Classism. That's what's really happening. Golden Kamal, how you doing?
Arrested, they're not harassed because they have things. They have Lamborghinis, they have Porsche Cayennes, they have big houses. So every single person now wants to have things. And the best way to get things is either you get miracle money in church, you go to the occult, or you steal. Natif. So what we have done is created an industry of co-conspirators, right from the top of government, the top of mosque and church, to the bottom of society. Those who are deemed as the role models, those that are deemed as the philanthropists, are in essence criminals who masquerade in our society. However, and this is the thing that I came here to say to you, modern day governance reforms must accept others have designs on our countries. You can say, no, my country is small, or my country is peaceful. My country does not fight with anyone. They don't care as long as you have what they need. They are going to come and try and corrupt your politicians, corrupt your citizens. If they can't corrupt them, cause them to rebel against you. If they can't cause them to rebel against you, just cause some discontent. Sorry, I cannot be diplomatic. It is not my duty to be diplomatic. Pan-Africanism is not diplomatic. As Black people, we were so, we spent half our time obeying rules. Now, here's the thing. I have a lot of time criticizing what Europeans and Americans and the Asians and others do to destroy our sovereignty. That we must never neglect doing.
Okay, Isaac, you're saying, if you can kindly rephrase your question or your comment, I'm trying to follow in regards to you're saying I don't have money to create job for young men. Every year, you only get 10,000.
However, I would be dishonest if I did not focus that the discontent of the youth, their sense of exclusion, is the very fact that our local elite
We're going to a conversation in regards to what's happening right now. The fact that Africa is recycling thieves and educating illiterate. We do have the news and updates in regards to Moses Kuria, who resigns as the president. William Ruto's senior economic advisor. As we're having this conversation in the morning, all this is pre-planned. It was not something that, hey, it's actually going to be a shock to us. But we definitely know this individual as someone who actually really speaks in ways which can really upset you. This is what he said. This evening, I have met my boss and my friend, President William Ruto. The president has graciously accepted my decision to resign from government. I thank President Ruto for having given me an opportunity to serve as Cabinet Secretary for Investments, Trade and Industry for 11 months, Public Service Delivery and Performance Management for 9 months. He's actually been everywhere, and Senior Economic Advisor for the last 10 months. As I move on to pursue personal interests, I am proud of the work the President and I did to implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which I designed together with the President as our 2022 electoral platform, Long Live Kenya. This is actually what I want to share in regards to what's happening right now. We've been seeing a lot of shifts in the cabinet, right? Since last year, we've seen a lot of shift in regards to the fact that if you do not actually adhere on what the president wants you to do, you're going to be kicked out. For example, the one and only Deputy Rigathi Gachagua, right? That happened to him. If you're not going to jump how high of how the president wants you to, you're going to be kicked out. But this is the reason why. I'm going to share this video in regards to actually how media works and how I can say powerful people do work, but it's not something you should follow. If you're an individual who should definitely question everything and ask yourself, should I definitely be emotionally attached to what's really happening right now in the media?
I believe he's guilty. There's enough evidence around. So Diddy, is he guilty? Probably, yeah. I believe he's guilty. There's enough evidence around. He looks pretty guilty. When the media is attacking him, I don't sit and think, Diddy's a piece of shit, Diddy's a piece of shit. I don't get programmed in the media. I sit and think, why only him? All of Hollywood's doing it. What did he do to get him in trouble? Because there's a whole bunch of others who've done the same things, but they're okay and he's not. Did he stop obeying? Did he not re-sign the contract? Did he refuse to shut up about certain things? Why did they pluck him from the bunch of hundreds they could have gotten? Intelligent people analyze why things are happening as opposed to feel emotionally invested in that event. So if you are watching something on the news, or if you have a strong opinion on someone you've never met, all these losers tweeting negatively at me who hate me so deeply because they saw a part of a YouTube video once and it offended them to their core. They can't stop tweeting against me. And Megyn Kelly thinks I'm bad and she's never even spoken to me. All these people are slave-minded. Use your brain and think for yourself. You remember the video of him beating Cassie up in the hallway?
We all do.
And that video came out on Twitter. I said, T, they're about to get Diddy. He said, why? I said, they've released a video that is 10 years old. They've been sitting on this for 10 long years. This was 2016 they got the footage. Why has no one seen it? 2 weeks later, arrested. They set up the public perception before the arrest. And I know how this works, so I saw it and called it. This came out of nowhere. This was stored somewhere in the Matrix archives. When they decided to take him down, first thing you do is slander him, just like they did to me. Before we were arrested, there was a media campaign trying its very best to paint us as bad people because the media doesn't report the news. The media prepares the public for the news. That's what they do. The media starts saying, you're going to die from COVID. Everyone's dying from COVID. COVID's scary. We might have to lock you in your house. We'll try not to, but we might have to. Prepare for maybe a lockdown. They soften your mind to the idea of things. They don't just come along and say, lock in your house, because people will rebel. They soften your mind to it. They softened people's brains to the idea of a Diddy arrest on purpose because it was all set up and decided. So Diddy, is he guilty?
Does it make sense? Literally, does it make sense also in regards to how we actually think that talk about electing president? It's actually decided. And at the time, our current president was a good fit. But right now, in regards to what's really happening, the whole world is watching. On the 25th, there was our command in regards to actually shutting down all the radio station and television showcasing what's really happening, because we cannot paint a bad picture about him. And right now, everywhere, I'm telling you, everybody knows him, and we have to actually feed it in regards to what they want. They give you ultimatums of, you should do this, or if you don't do this, this is going to happen to you. But we definitely have to follow up on regards to what's really happening. That was a conversation about the fact that Moses Kuria resigns as a President William Ruto's senior economic advisor, and he wrote a whole speech in regards to how he's super, super, super grateful for being a part of the cabinet secretary. But thank you for the ones who are joining us right away as we continue the conversation about the power of self. And we did have an individual actually giving us nudges of how we are educating and recycling lives.
School, bureaucratic, economic, and etc. have spent half their time disemboweling the state, taking out the money, whilst the people are on the margins. All they're asking for is a little salt, a little bread, a little something to sustain their soul. I think the most politically unconscious by practice are those in most of our country's leadership. Because if they were conscious by having read.
Thank you, everybody, joining my like on TikTok. Thank you so much. You can actually like and invite more people to listen into amazing conversation. And please, you can also follow the Vibe Creator for more amazing updates in regards to what's happening here in the Nairobi, Kenya, Africa, and all over the world. Akaka Isaac, thank you for liking the screen button. You're saying in my country, Kenya, it's reached because every day he collects 10 billion. It's a lot more money than, that's a lot of money. And it's because we have politicians, we're not going to even call them leaders. We have politicians who are in this position for their own benefit. They don't really care about you and me. They don't really care at all about what you're doing. But also we have to also follow the money in regards to what's really happening. We know these leaders that we do have, or we call them leaders, they have actually been even elected, even before now. The current president was actually elected even before we did elect him.
They are not conscious by practice, because it is not, you cannot be Pan-Africanist by making a great speech at the African.
Thank you so much. Hopefully soon you're going to have a lot of Pan-Africanist guests in the studio, and we're going to be talking about the fact that don't just believe anybody who says they are Pan-Africanists because they're giving these great speeches about Africa, great speeches about how we should actually permeate in the energy of Ubuntu. They are so good at convincing you by their words, but when you look at their lifestyle or how they live every day, it doesn't really showcase as a Pan Africanist. Also, we do have quotes and quotes Pan Africanists who are just in it for the fact that, hey, this is what's happening in this season. I might as well call myself a Pan Africanist. But if we actually try and dissect a part of your life, will we actually see or actually view the perspective that you're preaching about?
Union, and then come back and steal all your country's wealth just by having read book. They are not conscious by practice.
Listen to this. This is a very powerful pact that he's talking about right now.
In most of our country's leadership, because if they were conscious by having read book, they are not conscious by practice. Because it is not, you cannot be Pan-Africanist by making a great speech at the African Union and then come back and steal all your country's wealth. You know, some minister in a country not too far from here was paid $300,000 for mining rights for people to get between 3 billion and 40 billion per month. So, my friends, most of the private sector in many African countries is really government senior ministers who at the point of privatization privatize the private, and they are the owners, and then they are simply fronts for Western interests.
That's a fact. Whatever he's saying, that's a fact. You're actually collaborating with foreign individuals or companies, but actually the name of your company is Pan-Africanist name, or we know you as a Pan-Africanist. This is something in regards to what Mr. Newsom has actually been teaching us, in regards also to the people you listen to, and they're talking about Africa, you know, and they're actually African individuals or African brothers and sisters, and they're talking about the fact that, you know, Africa is a beautiful country, Africa is a beautiful continent, sorry, and they have this notion of a Pan-Africanist, right? But if you actually do research on them, something do not add up. Honestly, it doesn't really add up.
Say no if you want, and I'll produce evidence, right? So when we say private sector-led growth, the people are saying, you are asking us to give the thieves more money. So friends, if we are going to have a private sector, it needs to be not only patriotic but competent. The median age of leadership in Africa is 64. The median age overall for young people is 19, but the median age of leadership is 64. Now, in most countries, the number of people above
right, 64, but we actually do have a lot of individuals in this Kenyan government who are like 100 years old, and in the government. Why are they in the government at that age? And it's in the Constitution. But if we are out there protesting, if we're out there treating about these things, we're actually arraigned as fast as possible.
Age of 64 is less than 4% of the population. And that 4% of the population controls 80% of power in our countries. The fastest growing industry in all our countries has been religion. Now, you do consciousness in school, they undo it in church. So I have a suggestion. It is for government and for the faith sector and others to work around what is it that we're trying to build, what kind of citizens. Because on average, religious entities gather 65% of the population 4 times a week, every week. Even the most effective politician is not able to do that. In some countries, a single religious leader gathers between 30 to 60,000 people in a stadium 3 times a week. And the government has to pay young people to come to a meeting like this because...
Yes, that happens. That really happens. Keka Isaac is saying, my question is, what can I do for my country? Like, okay, what can I do for my country as a Kenyan man?
They need facilitation to travel. But those religious leaders get paid by the poor. And I will avoid, for purposes of peace and security, calling.
Stand on truth, question everything that is being showcased on the media, and also just stand for truth and practice Ubuntu. Educate your brothers and sisters about the conscious leaders we should have, about the fact that we do have puppet leaders. Just stand on your ground and practice Ubuntu and stand for what's right, always.
Any of them fraudulent or false or manipulative, I'll just simply call them religious leaders. But the poor go and they pay. Even your grandma.
Support your African brothers and sisters. Let it be the top-notch agenda you should always have in your life in regards to support your brothers and sisters. Support your African brothers and sisters far more than anything.
Your great-grandmother pays. So the consciousness we need to build is together with those that control mass opinion on a regular basis. Religion is producing for us politicians. Religion is producing for us business people. Religion is producing for us lecturers. And these people are not going to lecture outside the comforts of their religious base. So I want to suggest religion is a key side of struggle. I need to say this, and I hope someone will hear me in this room. The countries that are leading in manufacturing of goods that we use every day, of technology that we use every day, are not Germany, Britain, France, and America. It's China, India, Turkey, South Korea, and etc. And if you ask us where we are sending our students, spending lots of money for fellowship and scholarships, we're still sending them to the past. That's why they come back with good French, good English, and some.
That is so true. That's a good, actually, it's a good way to say that. We're sending our kids to the past because Africa has been the future. Life started in Africa. It's the cradle of life. And we have this agenda that is always spread. Something we always hear, if you're actually have been to schools, to university, mostly in schools, there's this agenda of after you finish high school and you graduate, you should definitely send your kids to some foreign nation to learn and be better. But what are they learning? Right? That has always been the notion. It brings us back to zero. What is zero? Zero is, we are actually sending our next generation to forget about who they are, to forget about their culture, to hate where they come from, to actually have this white supremacy notion in them, because there's this thing called classism in regards to you feel better about yourself and you downgrade your brother and sister because you've gone to the best school, as the world has actually claimed it to be maybe the best school in the world. You live in the best houses, you drive a certain type of car, you hang around certain type of people, so you feel like the rest of the world, actually anybody who's not on your class or your level, is less than you. Are we teaching our kids to forget about their culture? Are we teaching our kids how to forget about who they are by sending them to the past? What's the past? The past is actually this foreign nation, because they learned everything about who they are through who we are, through Africa, through our culture, through our traditions. And whatever I'm saying right now, these are the things they don't teach us in school, because they don't want me and you to know about who we are. Because if we know who we are a threat to them. Make sense?
Sometimes even good Spanish. And they cannot produce anything. Electrical engineer can't fix light bulb. As a former UN employee, I keep telling people, I was part of the lying industry that kept telling people, by 2050, 75% of Africans will be living in urban areas. And I keep saying the only reason why that will become true is because we are not investing in the rural sector. And let me repeat, the majority of conflicts generate.
I definitely agree with that. We also do have a lot of governors named MCAs, women representative. What are they doing about their county, right? Everybody wants to be the governor of Nairobi, but we should definitely invest in the rural sectors. That's where the future is. So that's where the most beautiful lands and vegetations are. And that's why the likes of Kellys are buying 300 acres worth of land in a UK, where people not question, actually it's not going to go viral as it should be, because people don't really think about the other side of the world that we do have in our countries. But because we are all focused, or we've actually been programmed to focus on the town, city, the city life and everything to do with that. But if you look at it in that perspective, there's actually no more worthy land in the city. But go to the other section that has been forgotten. That's where the most beautiful air, that's where nature, the real nature is, because nobody is tempered with the real vegetation over there. That's what we've been told to ignore about who we are, about farming, about our dialect, about what really defines us as Africans.
By extractive industries, or generated by land grabbing, or generated by the battle over water, are not urban conflicts. Those battles are happening in the rural areas. Now I understand why I was part of those miseducated elites who kept on saying by 2050, 75% of Africans will be living in urban areas. I was preparing our people to leave the land, to leave the rivers, to leave the water, to leave the organic food, to come into town, so that those who were coming with money to take it, to invest could come. And because they're not that sophisticated in most of our countries, it's easier for big industries and big people who are coming to grab land, grab wildlife and stuff, to corrupt them.
Carbon storage, we know about carbon storage. A lot of land is being grabbed in Isiolo, carbon storage. And they are so smart because they're going to pick a part of Kenya, of an individual, or actually a certain culture, I can say, of people who are not really they're not exposed. Let me say that, because if you watch and do that research, you see people asking, or they're being asked, do you know what carbon storage is? They don't actually understand what carbon storage is, like, at all.
That is where we fight from a base, and our base is we cannot be handing over our natural resources, our land, our water, and etc., and only training our young people to become good French and English speakers.
And that's the agenda, for you and me to forget about who we are, for you and me to forget about our indigenous languages and learn more about who they are. And if you're learning more about, I'm not saying it's wrong to learn other languages. I know a few of some languages good if you actually can be able to communicate, right? But also you cannot forget about who you are. You cannot forget about where you come from. You cannot lose to have pride of where you come from, of who you are, of your pigmentation, honey, because it's the real deal.
We talk a lot. We talk a lot. There is a proverb in Uganda that says, if you make an agreement with a lion to become vegetarian, be rest assured you are the first vegetable the lion will eat. I'm a king. The African state, that entity, has failed to protect, to secure, except sometimes the state is very efficient in repressing expressions of poverty, or very efficient in protecting a few elites, especially foreign elites. The state never fails to protect multinational companies each time any of their properties or interests are at stake. But the state sometimes grows amnesia when there is a threat to poor people, or the poorest of the people. Which means, colleagues, if we're thinking about insecurity, ultimately there is now a marketplace for and of the means of violence. And the merchants in that marketplace are drawn from various levels of society, including the global. For example, in some of the countries that are listening to me now, they are now local militias or defense units. Sometimes we call them some other names. We have gangs that control the extraction of gold, gangs that control the extraction of minerals, gangs that control narcotics, gangs included in the trade and trafficking of women and girls. My brother, Minister Diop, has referred you to the context of Mali, of the Sahel, and it is the context we're seeing in other parts of the continent, including parts of the Great Lakes and parts of the Horn, where private military companies from America, from France, from wherever, and external special forces are present, constantly assuring us that we are insecure and that they have brought security, but constantly unable to deal with the so-called minor problem of our insecurity. Even in this period of uncertainty on whether a foreign army is present.
And actually know that has always been implanted in us, the inferiority complex, which should not actually be something we are talking about, because we are definitely the real deal in regards to we are literally the originators of civilization. That was actually a twist in regards to how they feel it, and they actually implanted that into our mindset. But Africa is a kind of life. We should walk and talk knowing that we come from a heritage of royalty. It's a fact. I'm not just babbling. You can actually take a look at the great kingdom of Mali. Had a lot of kingdoms in Africa. And that's why if you've ever felt like, yo, maybe there's the spirit of a king in me, the spirit of a queen in you, because you are one, honey. Thank you for the ones who are joining us right now. DJ, Simone, Plumbers, World Stores, a lot of people joining us on TikTok. Thank you so much. If you're new here, my name is Iriton Longoria on Let's Pop with Iriton. Always talking about redefining Africa as we redefine ourselves, but we're almost winding up right away. You can also download our app on the Google Play Store. Stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements. Apparel clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. And also you can follow the live creator for more news and updates in regards to what's happening in the world, the real truth about everything that has been hidden, eroded away from you. Like, before I wind up, let's listen to this video.
I have a message for you. All of you. You want to come to Europe, huh? Stupid. I get so many questions. Chef, I want to work with you here in Europe. Chef, appraise a job for me in Europe. Guys, life is a bitch in Europe. Life is not what you think it is in Europe. And your brothers and sisters that are here now will not tell you that because they're already ashamed. Okay? They're already ashamed. So they come home to you, they say, oh, life is fantastic. It's not. I lived 14 years in Tanzania. 14 years. Life is better. There's so much opportunity in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. All my brothers and sisters there, trust me, if you work hard, you graft hard, your life is much better. You want to know what's happening here in Europe when you come here? I'll give you my breakdown, okay? My flat, my tiny flat, 1,400 euros a month. My energy bill, 250 euros a month. My gas bill, 100 euros a month. My car license, my car insurance, 45 euros. My mobile phone, 50 euros. My TV, 40 euros. My local government tax, 160 euros a month. My list goes on. At the end of the month, I spent 3,000 euros only bills. I have a message for you. All of you. You want to come to Europe, huh?
Let me hear that again. That, whatever is actually quoted, is only for bills. He hasn't even taken care of himself. He hasn't even go out for shopping or, done other things for himself. He's just on bills. Can we at least try and embrace where we come from? Can we have pride in regards to who we are? Because they don't tell you the real truth of what's really happening in these other foreign nations.
Stupid. I get so many questions. Chef, I want to work with you here in Europe. Chef, raise a job for me in Europe. Guys, life is a bitch in Europe. Life is not what you think it is in Europe. And your brothers and sisters that are here now will not tell you that because they're already ashamed. Okay? They're already ashamed. So they come home to you, they say, "Our life is fantastic." It's not. I lived 14 years in Tanzania. 14 years. Life is better. There's so much opportunity in Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. All my brothers and sisters there, trust me, if you work hard, you graft hard, your life is much better. You want to know what's happening here in Europe when you come here? I'll give you my breakdown, okay? My flat, my tiny flat, 1,400 euros a month. My energy bill, 250 euros a month. My gas bill, 100 euros a month. My car license, my car insurance, 45 euros. My mobile phone, 50 euros. My TV, 40 euros. My local government tax, 160 euros a month. My list goes on. At the end of the month, I spent 3,000 euros only bills.
3,000 euros only bill. That has been my time. This conversation about the power of self. Can we embrace our individuality? Can we fall back in love with who we are? Can we just love who we are as Africans? Can we practice the spirit of Ubuntu? That's what makes us be us. And that's why we've been fought, we've been enslaved, we've been, our history, everything to do with that has been eroded because we are the originators of life. My name is Irichan Longoria. For the ones who've been with me, joining me right away, remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. As you download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. Thank you for the ones who join me live on YouTube, BitChute and Rumble. Remember, you can like and subscribe to our channel for more updates in regards to what's happening all over the world. It's always live, truth, and direct about everything that we share on our channel as you basically order yourself some beetroot.
Beetroot, nature's powerhouse. Packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina, and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried, and finely ground to preserve their rich nutrition content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie, or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Only $20.90 on our website, www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. Get yourself some beetroot. Also download our app on the Google Play Store. Sending you so much love and light this beautiful Wednesday. Stay black and stay hot. Much love. Take care.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, all the way in Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of my brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning in to Black Hot Fire Radio.
You're now listening to the best
The Lord knows bila si abuzi no misi fala wa kukame goyan fully bad fully bad TKB in the place to go fully bad and that boys not the place to go fully bad Shumani not the place to go fully bad fully bad
Floody bad and came bad and nilikuja juzi and niggas already mad. Why you tripping on face? Keep up the pace. My paper clean and that's what I'm finna chase. Zimeshika fully bad, mili ndio naona. Mamangu bado nitamkora. Mashughuli usiku kwa kona. Cheza upigwa bakora. Shori